Hey everyone, great to have you here. Our last episode talked about Lego, and today we'll be continuing our theme of cult classics in this episode covering Taco Bell. But first, I gotta ask, when you think of Taco Bell, what comes to mind? Maybe some are reminded of the iconic talking chihuahua. Let's separate the premium tacos from the soft now. Who knows the name of this cult sensation? Alright, let's start this up. Glen Bell Jr. was a man not afraid to take the risk required to make it in the fast food industry. With burgers being the in thing at food stands in the early 1950s, this man chose to bring Mexico to America through food. Bell Jr. was born in California in the year 1923 into a family that had to work really hard to put food on the table. He helped his mother with household chores and in the process learned how to cook. A talent that would change his life forever. Another experience that shaped his life was the interaction with hobos during his summer breaks after school. He began to understand the importance of comfort food in people's lives. Glenn used to say, when people were about broke, with very little money, they would spend their last dime on a hamburger, his brother Merrill recalled. Every experience in Bell's life only helped with the birth of the very successful Taco Bell, a company worth looking and learning from. Let's take a closer look now to see where they are at and then find out how they got there. With over 210,000 employees, Taco Bell has grown from what it used to be, earning about $11 billion in sales in 2018, with 7,000 eating places and serving over 35 million customers weekly. Taco Bell is a California-based restaurant chain that specializes in Mexican-style food, but it was not always so. In 1946, Glen Bell Jr. decided to venture into business. His first step was to open a hot dog stand in San Bernardino, California. He sold this business for $400 and used the money to secure a lease for the food stand site and to buy building materials. Bell started in a modest way, a one-person operation and selling on the spot. His first day of work saw results of $20 after working for 16 hours. He standardized the working hours to 9 a.m. to midnight, averaging about $150 a day during his first year. In 1952, Bell sold his first stand and started building an improved version. He also updated his menu, adding fresh staple wants to it. Bell noticed that Mexicans were immigrating to the United States, thus a new business opportunity, feeding them. Americans could also be reached by finding a balance between both food worlds. Bell started experimenting with tacos. He settled on selling tacos by volume rather than making and stuffing them individually, as seen in bigger restaurants. Bell began selling a chili dog from which he eventually developed his traditional taco sauce. He chose to set up in a Hispanic neighborhood of San Bernardino. He also developed taco shells that could be easily and quickly fried and later stuffed with ingredients. This development didn't come easily. As Bell worked his hot dog stand, he always noted how a Mexican restaurant nearby, Mitla Cafe, created jam-packed lines for its hard-shelled tacos. The next 2 years became an obsessive mission to reverse engineer these fan-favorite tacos. He dined there frequently and eventually, after many failed attempts, formed a friendship with the owners, who showed him how they were made. Bell's stand was so small that he sold his first tacos at 19 cents a piece from a window on the side. The first taco customer was so impressed, he asked for another. It was obvious from that point that this idea was a hit. This humble beginning was the backrest on which Taco Bell's birth was hinged. In 1953, Bell opened a second stand in Barstow, near San Bernardino. This stand made a lot of profit selling lots of tacos, so Bell recruited Ed Hackbarth to manage it. In 12 months, Bell began the construction of 3 taqueria stands in San Bernardino, Redlands, and Riverside. The new stores that were open saw his revenue jump to about $18,000 in sales in his first month. Another store was specifically designated to handle the needs of the 3 taqueria outlets and 3 other Bell's drive-ins outlets. Here, vegetables were prepared daily, as were taco shells and sauces. This was important for Bell's vision of more customer-focused restaurants. His early adoption of the strategy would prove essential in winning over customers in the fiercely competitive fast food industry. In 1956, Bell sold his 3 Tacotilla restaurants to fund his expansion into the Los Angeles restaurant market. He finally went into partnership with 4 members of the Los Angeles Rams professional football team to reduce his startup risk. In 1958, they formed the El Taco restaurant chain, which included a central commissary to serve up to 100 units. 3 outlets were initially opened, producing profits of $3,000 after the first year of business. Bell needed independence, so he sold off his shares in the business, and in 1963, he opened the first Taco Bell outlet in Downey. He opened 8 more outlets in several locations such as Long Beach, Paramount, and Los Angeles regions. He was also open to franchising and seized the opportunity when it came up. In 1964, Hermit Becky, a former Los Angeles policeman, purchased the first Taco Bell franchise in the South Bay area of Los Angeles. Other franchise buyers followed. The Taco Bell chain went public a year later on the Pacific Stock Exchange. In 1976, McKay was named president of Taco Bell. At that time, the company owned 12 restaurants with an additional 325 franchises. By 1970, Taco Bell had become a $6 million operation, producing annual profits of approximately $150,000. The fast food chain's success soon drew the attention of PepsiCo Inc., the snack food and soft drinks giant, which was seeking to diversify into the restaurant business. PepsiCo reached out to Glen Bell with the offer to buy Taco Bell. In February 1978, a deal was struck between both parties in which Taco Bell was purchased for just under $125 million in stock. For PepsiCo, it was important to change the current outlook of Taco Bell. Its focus had to be expanded from just a certain region, and its international capabilities embraced. PepsiCo immediately changed the decor and menu of Taco Bell outlets, concentrating on quality, affordability, cleanliness, and convenient surroundings. Taco Bell also redesigned the company logo, changing it from its old logo, a Hispanic man dozing under a giant sombrero, to a sparkling bell atop the company name. What's your initial reaction to their first logo? It's kinda all over the place, with the hat slanted in one direction and the bell going in another, all connected by a supposedly dozing Hispanic man. I don't see him in any of these signs. How about you? Which logo do you prefer? The first one or the current one? I'm voting for the current one. Let's move on now. The changes had a positive effect on the company. It led to its rapid growth during the early 1980s. By 1983, when John E. Martin took over as president, the chain had 1,600 outlets in 47 U.S. states, producing a total of $918 million in sales. The average Taco Bell franchise made $680,000 in sales that year, compared to the average of $325,000 sales in just 3 years earlier. The campaign's tagline, "Just made for you," made the individuality of dishes for each customer visible. By 1986, Taco Bell had grown to 2,400 outlets, with just over $1.4 billion in sales. The strategy was simple: continue building out stores, and continue watching the sales grow. Newer Taco Bell outlets were modified with new dishes added to the menu. Drive-thru windows became a standard feature. 2 years later, Taco Bell made widespread pricing and production changes. The prices of many items on the menu were reduced. This forced other competitors to drop prices as well in order to still exist. Another approach taken by Taco Bell was the contraction of its food preparation in order to maximize time spent, as well as removing the kitchen out of the restaurant. Electronic information systems were installed in all Taco Bell outlets, and this significantly cut down management paperwork. The minimizing of kitchens in all its outlets helped each store become more customer-focused. This strategy paid dividends for Taco Bell as profits skyrocketed by about 25% annually. This happened when it was facing a sharp drop in prices. To keep customers focused on Taco Bell's menu, the company in 1991 introduced a 3-tiered value menu. Most products on the menu, from original tacos and bean burritos to cinnamon twist, would be sold at 3 main price levels: 59 cents, 79 cents, and 99 cents. These changes helped the company to achieve 60% more sales in 1991 than 2 years earlier. These were pretty impressive achievements considering the circumstances. New Taco Bell outlets were opened under the company. The number had grown from 2,193 units in 1985 to 3,273 units in 1990, marking an annual growth rate of 8.3%. This growth rate continued in the early 1990s as Taco Bell opened some new franchises and many new company-owned restaurants. In 1992, Taco Bell opened outlets in Aruba, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia, therefore having 11 international locations. In the United States, Taco Bell introduced Taco Bell Express, which are small outlets with a more limited menu and little or no seating in specific locations such as airports, business cafeterias, and sports stadiums. Street carts were also introduced to further their reach to the people. Taco Bell also went into partnership with the supermarkets for counters within their stores. This allowed the company to sell everything from sauces and salsas to dessert kits, and benefited supermarkets with additional traffic. Both parties were happy. Their expansion resulted from some clever strategy as well. Have you noticed quite a few Taco Bells share facilities with either Pizza Hut, KFC, or Long John Silver's? And that even at one time, Lyft had a taco mode to satisfy your late night cravings? Or have you noticed Taco Bell's habit of teaming up with other brands for creating mind-numbing dishes? Some of these items will really blow your mind, or at least a hole in your toilet. The list goes Doritos Locos Tacos, Mountain Dew Baja Blast, Airheads Freeze, Cheetos Burritos, Cap'n Crunch Delights, and the Chocoladilla. No one will ever say that they're short on creativity over at Taco Bell. These are the consequences when co-branding and innovation are fused. This enables Taco Bell to extend their reach to other customers they may once not had access to, and also doubles their marketing budget by splitting expenses between other companies. Additionally, it allows Taco Bell to experiment with new items that will hopefully send us to nearby locations for another meal. What do you think of Taco Bell's food creations? Would you eat these foods? Why or why not? I'd love to know. In his biography, Bell outlines 60 lessons learned in this journey. He calls them his recipes for success. Most important to his success are a few of his first recipes. First, you build a business one customer at a time, and secondly, an innovative product will set you apart. Do you think Taco Bell has done a good job sticking to Glen Bell's recipes for success? Let me know in the comments below. Taco Bell is a giant in the chain restaurant of businesses. This is because a strong and determined man gave birth to the Mexican quick service restaurant sector. Taco Bell has had its ups and downs, but has overcome whatever challenges were in its path. As always, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next episode.